region. It remains a very, very good FA Cup final. And Hatchin! What a magnificent goal!
Good evening and welcome to All Things Sky Blue match preview. Our home game against Sheffield United at the CBS Arena. 12:30 kickoff. It is, I believe it's on Sky as well. So one to look out for that. If you can't make it to the game, you can watch it on TV. So just before I do bring in my guests, just remember where you can find us. It is scrolling down the bottom. But you are on Twitter, X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We're on YouTube as well. Please go and like and subscribe. We're sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications. His logo's in the corner. He can do your steel fabrication work up and down the country, but mainly in the Coventry and Warwickshire area. This season, we're partnered with two people. The Anecdote Sports Bar at the CBS Arena and also the Sky Blue Tavern in Coventry City Centre, where I am tonight and where I do most of my recordings or live sessions from as well. So just before I bring in my Travelling Blades guest, let me introduce again my co-host, Mark Smith. Good evening, Mark. You okay?
Yeah, good evening. Yes, long time no speak.
I know it has been a while. Obviously, we've had an international break. Since we last spoke, I think we've drew against Sunderland 2-2. Reece-Garber. Lots happened since we've last spoke. Yeah,
not much.
A little bit.
It's been pretty quiet, isn't it? Really, last few weeks.
Obviously, we have lost Mark Robbins, and obviously Reece-Garber was in charge for the Sunderland game. First half was okay-ish. Second half was much better. They dropped off a little bit, I felt, but I still feel that we were probably the better side in the second half and could have pushed on for a winner. How did you feel about the draw against Sunderland, Mark?
Yeah, it's a really positive result, I would say. And arguably, we could have won the game. I thought Hadji Wright could have had a penalty as well. And I thought Sunderland were I was surprised by their tactics for the second half. I thought they might have been pushing on to try and get that third goal. But instead, we played really well. And, very pleasing result. Obviously, it's been a bit of a break in between. We've got two big games now, Sheffield United and Burnley, arguably two of the best sides of the league. Obviously, Leeds would have something to say about that, but two of the stronger sides. So, it could be two tough encounters, but, we've just got to be up for the fight now.
Yeah, obviously, in the Sunderland game, we did lose Hadji Wright as well. We're still unclear at the moment how long he's going to be out for or if he's going to be available. I don't think he will be for this one. Is that going to be a bit of a miss, or is it a chance for somebody like Bassett or Asante and Sims to form a decent partnership?
Yeah, of course it's a miss because, he's our top goal scorer of the season. He's played really well since being playing up front. But you're right, it does give an opportunity for other players to come in and stake a claim. We've got good strikers, Ellis Sims, Bassett, Asante. So there's plenty of competition. It's not a position we're light, unfortunately. I'd be a bit more concerned if we lost to Milan or, I suppose we used to losing Benchi because he's always injured a lot of the time. But, players that we haven't got as much cover is a bit more of a concern. So, yeah, disappointing because I think Hadji Wright has done really well for us so far. But, I still think the guys coming are capable of doing a good job.
Yeah, definitely, totally agree. And obviously, moving on to Sheffield United, let's bring our guest in. And it's Ben for the Travelling Blade. How are you, Ben?
Hi, Ben.
Evening, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm well. How are you?
We're very well, thank you.
Yeah, not bad.
Sound
good. Right, so before we get into it, Ben, can you just let us know what you can do, what you guys do or what you do and where we can find you?
Yeah, so Travelling Blade, I do match day vlogs home and away for Sheffield United. Check me out on YouTube. It's called Travelling Blade, done vlogs since about 2018. I had the odd little bit of hiatus, but started again, I think, back when we got to the FA Cup semi. Did them all through last season, which was a hoot. And then obviously carried on this season. So yeah, check us out on YouTube for the match day vlogs. There won't be one of this Saturday, unfortunately, as I'm not there. But
That's a shame.
yeah, there is the for Coventry fans. I did vlog the 4-1 victory for you guys the other season, so go and check that out.
Oh, okay, excellent. Thank you very much for that one. We will go and check that out definitely because it was a victory.
Yeah.
Right. So going into this season, shall we say? Obviously, I know we're coming into the middle part of the season, and you know, normally at this point, after 10 or more games, you kind of see where your team's going to be. You had a 2-point deduction at the start of the season, which was completely wiped out straight away. You know, no worries there. Has this season surprised you, or are you where you expected you were going to be?
It's definitely gone better than I thought we were going to be. I thought we were still a bit shell-shocked after last season. I think one of the good things was, I think one of my worries coming into the season is we did need wholesale changes, but I'll say it in the obvious, but it's always easy to get rid of players than it is to actually bring them in. And I think now looking back, for the most part, it was a really good summer. It wasn't perfect, as I'll come on to, but we did get players in quite slow at times. I was getting a bit worried, thinking we need more coming in, and we also need backups as well. So we are still a bit light on the ground, and we've been the last couple of seasons, whether it's been under Wilder last season or Hecky before that, we've been really injury prone as well. So I'm thinking, start of the season, I'm trying to sort of temper my excitement because we have obviously had some great players came out the traps with a 2-0 win. And I'm thinking, we've got a brilliant starting 11, one of the best starting 11s in the championship. My worry being is that when they start to inevitably get injured, who comes in from then? So even though we have had a couple of injuries, we've had people come off the bench. So we've had to rely on a few of the youth players, the likes of Siddy Peck, who has not been perfect, but has been a very good, second choice midfielder in lieu of Arblaster. Ryan One, who's about 18, thought he's not really that experienced, came on and got us an equaliser away at Bristol City that we went on to win. So, and I was a bit worried, and I think my main worry as well for quite a lot of the summer was the goalkeeping situation, because I'm thinking we can't just have Adam David. Unfortunately, we pulled off quite the coup getting Michael Cooper in, who's been brilliant, but on the other hand hasn't had much to do. We've been quite shrewd with some of the loan signings we've had as well. One of them, I'm sure, some of the free signings as well, as I'm sure you'll know all too well. But yeah, I thought we were going to be about just outside the playoffs. We've been much better than I thought we would. So credit to Wild and the lads. I'm very pleasantly surprised to be sat second. And you mentioned the 2-point deduction. We'd be sat top if it wasn't for that.
Well, yeah, exactly. Obviously, Sunderland, they started off really like a house on fire. Really, they've kind of slipped a little bit. I think they've got 3 consecutive draws, I think now, so they are kind of slipping. So you may be able to catch them. Hopefully, we'll be able to put a slight dent in it on Saturday for you. But I'm sure after that, like you said, you have got a good side. You haven't necessarily got the best form when it comes to coming to the CBS or the Ricoh Arena, whichever one it is. I think you've only won 1 in 9 games. Obviously, the biggest of our win came, not last season, but the season before when you were obviously in the Championship last. And that was the 4-1 win that we had over you. Just going to you, Mark. How do you feel that that's going to... Obviously, I think if I'm right in saying we've only got one player from that side that's going to be playing on Saturday, and that player isn't even going to be playing, which is Josh Allen, Allen. Jamie Allen, thank you. His first name went out my head then. Jamie Allen. How do you think we're going to approach this game? Obviously, bearing in mind we're probably going to have Reece Carr as well in charge. How do you think it's going to go?
Interesting question. I think one up front, I would say. I don't think he'll... Gosh, it's been such a while since we last played, but I think I've got a feeling for Ellis Sims playing on his own up front. I I'd like to see Mason Clark given a go on that left-hand side, personally. He's also got Sakamoto to consider. I think it'll be probably... I'm going to say... I'm just trying to think of the formation we're going to play. I think it'll probably be a similar side that started against Sunderland. I think will be the team we'll go for. I don't see a lot of wholesale changes really for this game. I think Victor Dort will start at that number 10 position. So I'd probably go with the same team that started at Sunderland, really.
Okay. Are you going Sims instead of Hadji?
But I think Sims for me instead of Hadji, right? I think I think you want someone strong up front. You know, you're up against Harry Soto, who's probably one of the tallest centre backs I've ever seen in my life. He's about 9 foot tall. You know, so I think you need someone big against him. Yeah, it's 9 for 1. Yeah. So yeah, I think I want someone big and strong. So yeah, I think for me, it's a tough game. But I mean, you mentioned earlier about Sheffield United's record, but other teams have had poor records against us and managed to win. So I don't think that really counts for anything, really, to be honest. So we can't think, well, you know, just because we've got a good record. I think Preston. I mean, we're not like a Preston, are we? Really, where you know Preston always beat us. You know, so I think in this case, I think really. It's just take it game by game. I'd be happy with a point for this game, to be honest, because I think Sheffield United are favourites for promotion this season. I think them and Leeds are probably the two best sides. I think Sunderland will slip away. So I think anything out of Sheffield United will be a bonus. It'd be nice to get 3 points. I think that's our best opportunity to beat them in fairness at home, because you know we're playing a Sheffield United team who've won 4 games on the trot. So, you know, they're going to be confident. I guess the only good thing from our point of view is they've had a 2-week break. So they might be a little bit rusty coming to this game. You never know. Yeah,
obviously, again, coming to you, Ben, with the players potentially that you've got out, you might be able to shed a little bit more light on it. Ollie Arbasta, who's a key player for you as well.
Yeah.
Kiefer Moore, Ryan Brewster, and... Shashev, I can't pronounce his name, but he's out for the season anyway, isn't he?
Is that I think is that the young lad Shashev?
Yeah, he broke his leg, I believe, that I read.
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't feel like loaned him out to someone or something, and then or maybe it was like a youth game, and the next minute it went a bit wrong. I heard that was bad. I mean, to be fair, I feel bad for Shashev because it was all like it was never. Well, it's not someone we'd be expecting to play, but. I think, as I was saying, we've had a number of younger players come into the side, sort of through necessity. And so it may have been a bit of a breakthrough season. Breakthrough season might be a bit much, but he may have had the odd pop-up here and there, but now he's broken his leg I'm not sure how old he is, but he's definitely not exactly senior. So, but yeah, like you said, there's a chance that Arblaster will be, it won't be, I'll be surprised if he's playing. I can't see him featuring. But as I said, Sidney Peck had a brilliant, I think is that they call it the England Elite Squad under 20s. It's some like youth team kind of thing. It's not quite the under 21s. It's like a under 20s elite squad. And I think he had a blind with a game against Germany the day, apparently. I heard he got a goal and 3 assists. So, and that said, he's not been perfect, but he's had some good performances. He's been a fairly decent stand-in for when Arblas has been out. Kiefer Moore, another miss. I think we were quite worried because that's the one thing. We just didn't. I think we really need to sign another striker because Brewster, he's sort of just always perpetually injured, and then even when he's playing, he doesn't score. He actually had some really good performances this season, playing as like an attacking midfielder, number 10, rather than out-and-out striker. Where if he just actually tried to play some decent dribbling football and passing, he was actually quite good, rather than just trying to smack it as hard as he could towards the net all the time. But yeah, Keith a bit of a miss. However, Tyrese Campbell's in brilliant form.
Yeah, I was going to mention
4 wins. Yeah, he's got 3 goals in 4 wins, no loss, no less. One of them against that lot in the derby, so he's in good form at the minute. So I think before going into that Sheffield derby the other week, I was like, oh God, I can't see where the goals are going to come from. Even though he scored a few, like I'm still not the most convinced. Yeah. I think it's because I heard someone say he's a bit more of a winger than out-and-out striker, and we're playing like a 4-2-3-1 pretty much. With the Coventry fans' favourite O'Hare as a number 10, which has had mixed. He's to be fair, he's split our fans, to be fair. So we sort of Tyrese Campbell's pretty much playing as like a lone striker at times, when in a lot of ways he's probably a bit more, it's better playing off someone or maybe even as a winger. But 3 goals in 4 games is he's getting into the groove. Obviously, I said all Blaster a loss, but hopefully Peck can come in. But yeah, and Brewster, he wouldn't have been. I doubt he would have been starting anyway. To be fair, but it'd be nice to have him on the bench. Not sure how injured he is, but he's just always injured. That lad, we've just come used to it now.
Yeah, obviously you've mentioned a couple of them already. I'm going to come to you first. So you mentioned being a divide in Callum O'Hare. What's the divide about? Why are people divided about him?
I think because, well, I was about to say it was our big money transfer. Obviously, it wasn't the big money because we got him on a free. Obviously, got to pay his wages, but he was like one when we signed him. He was probably trying to think back to the summer, probably the highest profile, like thinking the most exciting, like, oh, wow, like we've got another, I think because we thought of the link with Heyman, we thought there's going to be some chemistry there. Obviously, they had that brilliant season for you guys, obviously when you got to the playoffs as well. And we thought, oh, wow, there's going to be a good connection there. And I think just... I don't know. He's not been bad, but I think maybe he's not lived up to the expectations we have. I think now a lot of people, you might not see as many like goals from him, or maybe not even the best passes from him. And sometimes he has been a passenger at times and he's gone missing. But then in other games, he's had brilliant work rate. So, for instance, at Bristol City away, I think it was around the 95th minute, and it was just the fact that he was legging it after a ball that forced their defender to think, oh crap, if I don't stop him, I'm going to have to, he's through. So forced a professional foul. Bristol City player got sent off. 3 minutes later, we get the winner. So obviously it's not directly from him, but there has been some of the games where he has run his socks off. So I think he's sort of getting there. I think we just sort of expected a bit more from him. I think we've been a bit spoilt in recent years, having the likes of Gibbs White and then Njai afterwards. So that number 10 role, we've been a bit spoilt in previous years. So it's his big boots, and although it's a very different role to what Sharp did, the number 10 shirt at Sheffield United is a heavy number to weigh, and a heavy weight to it. And I think maybe he's not, like I said, not been bad, but he's not been incredible either.
Yeah, and obviously you had Gus off us a couple of years ago when you were in the Premier League. How is Gus doing? Is he doing all right? Is there any divide in the fans on Gus, or is he still a fan's favourite?
Yeah, Gus is brilliant. He's been pretty much brilliant from day one, to be fair. It might have even been his debut, and I think it was away at Forest in the Prem, and he scored a brilliant goal for us. He was one of, if not the only player last season that showed that he could actually belong in the Premier League. Really was the only, one of the best. He was the best player last season, really, for us. And then this season, obviously playing against lesser opposition, he's been brilliant. I think he's our joint top scorer. He really is. He's not. It's one of them. Like, he's not always at his best, but then again, I'm thinking if he was always at his best, he'd be in the league above. But even when he's not at his best, he'll still be one of our best players, if not one of the best players on the pitch. He always, like I said, he had another good game. Against a nice bit of it was him and O'Hare that actually teed up for the goal. I didn't give O'Hare due credit for the brilliant assist against that lot. But yeah, he's been for me. I'd probably say a lot of people when I say our players of the season, I heard people are saying, is it Cooper in there? Is it Harry Suter? A lot of people are saying Vinny Souza. I think for me is the other one, but I think Hamer, because I just think he is our main sort of charging thing going for our main talent going forward. He creates goals, he scores goals, great pass. Like I said, he's got a finish on him. He's sort of our main, I'd say he's like our star player, and there's no divide over him really. If he plays well, United play well. He sort of keeps it all going, and he was the only one that actually could hold his head up with any sort of dignity last season in a way. Not saying he was flawless, and then this season for me, I'd probably tip him to have been our best player, definitely influential, because we've not had that many, although we're second, we haven't really scored that many goals. So the ones that we have got from him have often been through him in one way or another. And we even got a brilliant direct free kick from him the other week, so that was always nice to see as well. We don't get many of those.
No, definitely. Obviously, Mark, we know what Gus can offer. How obviously I mentioned at the start about there being a fans divide in Coventry with them two coming back, especially. How do you think? Two questions. How do you think the fans in general are going to react to the pair of them coming, and how are you going to react to the pair coming?
I feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's interesting because we have it sort of when players leave United. Sometimes when they come back, we're like bowing down to them. So I'm trying to think of a really good example. So whenever, like a bit of an extreme example, but whenever Kyle Walker or Harry Maguire would come back with their respective Manchester club, they'd always get a warm welcome. David Brooks, but then again he had cancer. Some players, it's weird. Some players, I'm gonna have to sort of work out a flow chart of working out how United fans react to players. But I feel like with Coventry fans, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Gus might get a warm welcome because I feel like that was quite, I don't know, almost amiable when he left. I think it was around, it was pretty much around the time we lost Njai. And I felt like, I remember looking at the comments from the Coventry fans and they basically mirrored our comments about Njai. We were like absolutely heartbroken, but then also going, what can we do? Best of luck to him, that kind of thing. Whereas I didn't read too much into the O'Hare comments, but I feel like the greeting might not be as warm for O'Hare, but it might be a warm greeting for Gus. O'Hare might get a few boos and hisses.
Yeah, Mark, how do you feel about them two? With them two questions,
I think Ben's pretty much nailed it on. Really, I'd say Gus will get a really good reception from the crowd. He was an absolutely fantastic player, probably our best player since we've been relegated to the Premier League over 20 years ago. So he was an unbelievable player for us. Callum O'Hare, I think, will get probably a negative reaction. I mean, I don't want people booing too much because I think that might bring the best out of him. So I think we've got to be a bit careful of that. So I would, me personally, I would give I'd give no kind of reception to either because they're playing for the opposition. Applaud them in the game. Sing their names if you want. Hopefully after we win, that's all well and good. But I'm only concentrating on the players we've got and what we can do. So I just wanted to correct myself on one of your early questions, Stuart, about the team that I would play. Just wanted to go back to that one very quickly. I'd go two number 10s with Torp and Sakamoto and play Ellis Sims up front.
Okay. So would you play a box midfield then, would you?
Yeah, like a 3-4-2-1 is what I would go. And I think he'll either go, I think Reece Cole will go that way, or he might play the extra midfielder. So he could play 5 across midfield.
Okay.
So he could play because Ben Sheaf, I'd imagine, will be fit for this game. So I could imagine, I think he'll come back in. So maybe plays. I'm just thinking. I'm not saying that's what I would do. I'm just saying what Reece Carr could do.
Yeah.
Chief with Latti and Rodoni, and play maybe just Torp as a 10 or Sakamoto as a 10 with one up front, Sims. But I would probably go 2 number 10s. But yeah, if I just go back to my earlier point, I think at the end of the day, we just got to get behind the players, as we always do. But I think O'Hare will get a negative reaction from the crowd. I think he'll be pretty bad. So, but hopefully that won't cheer him up. That's what I'm hoping for. So
yeah, definitely. Mark, any questions for Ben at the minute, mate?
I was going to ask about Harrison Burrows because I watched him play against Bristol City and obviously scored that goal in the last and the death. But he's a player for me that's really impressed me with your signings as well. How's he been looking for you this season?
Yeah, he's been good. To be fair, he'll be, like I said, he's in the starting 11. Quite interesting. I think one of the reasons he's sort of meant to be like a bit of quite of a set piece specialist, but a lot of his free kicks haven't actually been that great. I think one of them. Sort of hitting the wall and that. Or sometimes his set pieces haven't been great. I think he took the one against Wednesday that we ended up sort of scoring from. Well, not thanks to the cross, but he scored a brilliant goal at Bristol. Obviously, pressure's on at that moment. Scored another great, similar angle goal at away at Blackburn. And I think I saw some Peterborough fans saying that I think apparently he's better going forward than he is. Which I just probably sort of agree with because he's obviously been chipping in with the goals. And when I sort of compare him to Alfie Gilchrist that we've got on loan from Chelsea, I definitely see Gilchrist as definitely the more defensive player. Apparently, he was John Terry's favourite player at the academy. But Burrows has sort of been great to sort of have bombing down that left. So I'm trying to think what else we have at the left, because we sort of have, you might have O'Hare playing. We've had O'Hare playing on that left wing. We've had Hamer playing on that left wing at times. We've had all sorts of players down that left wing. So we've ended up having quite a bit of talent down that left wing, depending on the game. But yeah, he's another one where I think it's another good bit of business. Quite a young player. Maybe could do with the odd bit of defensive, but he's been great, to be fair. And like I said, popping up with some good goals, and yeah, he's another name that will be one of the first names on the team sheet as well. So really happy with that signing.
Excellent. Anything else, mate?
I was going to ask about like Hamer's position, because like when he was playing for Cov, he was playing sort of central midfield. But is he utilised more on the right? Do you think that's his best position, or do you think he could play more on the centre of midfield?
Yeah, I'm trying to. He's sort of. I think he ends up sort of getting initially sort of placed. I think he sort of gets switched between the left and the centre, to be fair. So I think there's been a lot of games where I think towards the start we were having like Hamer on the left, which you don't really. I think when we first started in the Prem, we had him out on the left wing, and we're thinking we don't really want him there. We want him more central. And then O'Hare was in the centre, but then I think latterly Hamer's been more central, and O'Hare's been sort of moved out onto the left wing, because the right wing is always like Raksaki or Andre Brooks, depending, to be fair, sometimes I think we've also had O'Hare on that right side, but yeah, sort of between the left and the centre. But I believe in the games, the more recent games, Hamer's been playing more in that number 10 role. So yeah, we try and have him there, because that's why we sort of really want him. It's where there's more of the ball. He can influence the game more, and get shots off him. He's got more chance of scoring than O'Hare. He's got more chance of getting an assist than O'Hare. He is better than O'Hare at the minute. So we need him where we can affect the game as much as he can.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Any questions for us, for me or Mark, Ben?
So who would you say are your players to watch out for, Len?
Do you want to take that one, Mark?
Depends on who Reece Carr starts, really. I would say I'd like to say Sakamoto or Van Ivak for me. I don't know if Sakamoto will start, so that'd be an interesting one. I would say Haji Wright, but obviously he's injured for this game and he's been doing pretty well. Ellis Sims has got a couple of goals, but probably might be a good opportunity for him to stake a claim as a permanent striker, and I think he could do well. The other player is Norman Bassett, who recently was in the Belgium squad international break. So he did well to do that. And whilst he hasn't scored a goal for us, he's got bags of pace. He's a good guy to come on if we're trading in the game. So, it gives you another option. And I think, he just needs that goal to like the touch papers, as the old saying goes. So, yeah, I think we've got a few good players going forward. I think we could particularly hurt you, but there's make no mistake. It's going to be a difficult game. We've got to be our best defensively. One of our problems this season is lack of clean sheets. Only two this season out of the 15 games, so that's something that has to be addressed. But we know Sheffield United is going to be a really difficult game. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, obviously talking about clean sheets, I think I'm right in saying that you've got 10 clean sheets, Ben. So, it's going to be a difficult game. To answer your question, I'm going to name Torp and Radoni as ones to look out for, because on their day, they are two really good midfielders. They can both hit a ball, both good at set pieces. Radoni has got so many assists. He takes a corner like Hamer used to for us, and he whips it in right on top of that goalkeeper, and sometimes he'll go for goal. And I feel that Radoni does that as well, which I really like, because when we didn't have Radoni, we kind of missed that. Eccles just weren't putting the ball over, it weren't going to the first man. So to answer your question, for me, I'm going to say Torp and Radoni for that one to look out for as well. Going on to predictions then, I'll come to you first, Ben. Can I get a prediction from you?
I'll go 1-0 United. I was torn between 2-1 and 1-0, but I'll go 1-0 United.
Okay, fair enough. Mark,
Are
are you going to sit on the fence?
Well, surprisingly, I am going to sit on the fence this game because I don't like predicting us to win, so I'm going to go 2-2.
Okay, fair enough. Lots of goals in it. That's what I like to see. So we've got a 2-2. We've got a 1-0 to United.
Might as well Cov win. Might as well Cov win to make it a 3. One of us going to be right.
Well, so. People that listen to me will know that I'll never go for a Cov loss anyway. The worst I'll ever do is a draw. But I think that we may nick it just because Hamer and O'Hare are back and we're going to want to get one over on them. So I'm going to go for the reverse and I'm going to go for a 1-0 City win. Don't ask me who's going to score because I have no idea. As long as we win, I'm not bothered in all honesty.
Hamer own goal, possibly. I feel sorry for us.
I tell you what, O'Hare own goal would go down a treat.
They'll be chanting his name.
Better, I think.
They'll be chanting his name again, surely.
They would. I'm sure they would. Right. Any other questions, Mark, for Ben?
No, nothing from me. Okay,
lovely. So, with all guests then, Ben, I like to do a quick fire question or quick fire questions. There's only about 4 or 5 of them. If you can, give me one-worded answers, but don't worry if it goes into a sentence. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So, the first one player to look out for.
Harry Souttar.
Harry Souttar. Okay.
You can't miss him.
No, that's fine. Where will Cov finish?
17th.
Oh, wow.
Frank's coming.
Is that because you think Frank's coming that we're going to stay where we are?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. But I mean, surely you won't be wanting him, will you? He's not the manager.
Well, look, me and Mark were talking off air slightly, and when you look at his record, it's not that bad. Not really. Not when you look at it. Mark mentioned about Rude, and I think Van Nistelrooy gets a little bit more, how can I say it, publicity in people's minds because it's only just come out of management, and he's fresh and he's had, 4 good games at Man United being interim manager. He left on really good terms. I just think because he's so in the forefront of people's minds that people want him. Whether that would make him a good manager in the Championship, I don't know. Lampard has got, he got Derby to a playoff place. He lost to a really good Aston Villa side. So he's got that experience already. So people knocking it already, I'm not sure. For me, I'm happy to sort of, like Mark does with his predictions, is sit on the fence on this one and just wait and see what happens. If he does come, it's not guaranteed. It's not over the line just yet. But if he does come, then we'll have to wait and see. So the next one, where will you finish?
3rd.
Oh, not 2nd.
I'd have you down as top 2 this season, I think.
To be fair,
I think United leads for me this season to the top.
We've got a big January coming because there's every chance Palace might recall Rakasaki, so we'd have to buy another winger there, and we definitely need another striker. We could get bombarded with injuries and end up with I don't know, Heyman O'Hare leading the line. We're not even that far off that now, to be honest. Or 18-year-old One, so I'll go 3rd.
Wow. Okay. One player that you'd take from Coventry. I know you've taken enough already. I was just about to say that.
I know it's only left. So we've got them all. I'll go with Sims.
Okay. Just because you need that striker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take Hamer. Right. And that's not meant for me, but I'll just say I'll take Hamer.
I know. That's fine, mate. That's fine. Cool. Last one, Chris Wilder.
Legend.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we'll come back to that in the reverse fixture, and we'll see if you've changed your mind on anything.
If I'm slagging Wilder off and we're like 10th in Coventry,
and Coventry is second, and under Lampard.
There you go. Taking you back up.
We'll see. So, thank you very much. Before we go, again, just remind us where we can find you and what you do.
Yeah, check us out on YouTube, Travelling Blade, Match Day Vlogs for Sheffield United. There's a few there's at least one Coventry win on there. So yeah, go and check us out. It won't be one of this weekend, unfortunately, as I'm not going. But I'll be at the home game, no doubt. So yeah, check us out on YouTube, Travelling Blade.
Fantastic. Before when we finish recording, Ben, don't shoot off. We'll have a quick chat after.
No worries.
Lovely. Just remember where you can find us at All Things Sky Blue. We are on X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. If you don't watch us and you just listen to us on podcasts, we are on Spotify, Apple, wherever else that you get your podcasts from. If you listen to us, go and rate us 5 stars. If you watch us on YouTube, please go and like and subscribe. We're literally just past that 600 subscriber mark, which is amazing. And thank you to everybody that does like and subscribe. It is really appreciated by all of us at All Things Sky Blue. So thank you very much for that. With that, remember, we're sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications, and we're partnered with the Antidote Sports Bar and the Sky Blue Tavern. So once again, thank you to my guests, Ben, the Travelling Blade, and Mark from All Things Sky Blue. Once again, play up Sky Blues. Good luck for the rest of the season, obviously, apart from this game, Ben. Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Right.